Be ready to change yourself. Be ready to challenge your better self. Know that your mind can develop a passionate winning spirit, but not by yourself. We guarantee your family in love with your life, and you're gonna love all the grind. Lewis and Bars together, we develop your mindset with vitamin C for your mind. Don't you settle with what you know. There's much to learn, there's much to earn. Tell yourself I'm ready to fight, ready to be heard. Out of success and awakening rise. There's so many words that turn into prices. Be ready to change for the best. Step up and be great. Don't be like the rest. Develop your mindset.
Today we're going to talk about one of our medallion that it's dear to us and we love it. That's why we made it and we care about it. Today we're going to talk about what it means, how we interpret this, which is love yourself. That's what the medallion is. We're going to dive into how we think, Luis and I, Varuj, how we think what love is, like love yourself means, and we're gonna go dive into it. I hope you guys listen and give us your feedback. We'd love to hear that from you, and let's see how good a job we're gonna do. We are gonna try to make this work. All right, so love yourself is a medallion that we have. It's a heart shape, and it's like awesome. It's one of our medallions that we love, those quotes that we put on, and we have on the website ready for you guys to see. So first thing, love yourself. Like the way I interpret this is so many levels, right? Love is like amazing. It has such a components to it. You know, love yourself is one where everything drives from. You know, if you don't love yourself, then it's very hard to extend your love to outside of you, right? Like whether it's a parent, brother, sister, you know, friends, community, church, everything. You know, you have to love to be able to do it, to go there, to give yourself fully. So love has negative parts, positive parts. It's an energy. It's like we're gonna dive into this. We're gonna talk about it. So I have this, you know, we have notes here just to help us to stay on track, so we know what we're talking about here, kind of. So I have here my notes. You know, don't cheat yourself. Love yourself. You know, so don't cheat yourself is like so many times we cheat ourselves. We promise things for ourselves that we know is good for ourselves. It comes from like I want to be a better person. I want to not eat a lot, and then I want to like do certain things where it's good for me, and I love myself enough to do this. But like we always find ourselves kind of like not going through all these promises that we do ourselves. I'm calling it like don't cheat yourself, because so many times it goes internal too. You know, it's not only cheating outside, like you cheat to yourself too. And then you should find yourself, if you don't have that strong of love to yourself, you have to work on it. You have to develop it. You have to, you know, so you can make these kind of things work for you. You know, don't cheat yourself is very crucial, because if you are doing that, you are not getting the full, you know, like full effect of it. You need to realize these things, wake up to it, and not cheat yourself out of love. You have to love yourself enough to be able to go through something, even if it gets really, really hard, difficult, you know. So this is how I see this. Also, like, what have you experienced? You know, your surrounding, you know, like these things people do, and I did it when I was long time ago. But I do remember that doing this kind of, you know, things fall. So I did change for myself. But a lot of people, this is the reason we're talking about this, because we want people to realize, to wake up to it, and not cheat themselves out of love, for their personal love. So
Definitely, like there's a big difference between telling yourself that you love yourself and then the actions that you take to show that you actually love yourself. Because a lot of us like to tell ourselves, sort of like in this affirmation mode, like, oh, I love myself, I'm a great person, I'm this, I'm that. But then there's no action. You're not actually taking action in order to be congruent to what you're saying. So then all these affirmations are kind of like they're not functional. Because all it's really doing is like we said, like you're just cheating yourself. You're just tricking your mind into thinking that you actually love yourself, but you don't, because your actions are not showing it, and your actions speak louder than your words. So you can tell yourself a lot of things, but your actions will ultimately, show
Right.
if you really do love yourself to the core or not. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my take on it.
yeah, you just kind of put a picture in my head, like when you said you're kind of like want to start, but you're not going all the way. It's
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
like one of those false starts.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
It's like you have your hands down, you're gonna run
Yeah,
100 meter, and then
exactly.
and then you hear the gun before or after. It's like false starts. Like, yeah, I think don't cheat yourself. Like, don't have false starts. Also, I guess
Exactly. Yeah.
just like, I guess you have to consider it like it's a race, like per task, and you have to love yourself enough to go through that, put your energy to it.
Yes, definitely.
Totally, yeah. So next, I have, don't lie to yourself. Like, this is like something where we promise things to ourselves. I'm gonna
Yes.
go do this. This comes from love.
Yes.
Drives from love's place. So don't lie to yourself means when you promise something to yourself, you're gonna go all the way. You have to go all the way to find out if you're gonna succeed or not.
To commit.
To commit.
You have to commit. Yeah,
Yeah.
commit to the journey
Yeah.
of self-love, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So,
self-love is a journey.
Commitment is a big deal. Commitment is like comes out of love. You're probably thinking like, next week I'm gonna go and I'm gonna learn how to surf, right? And that's like you commit to it, and then when the next week comes, you just go do it.
Yeah.
How are you gonna do it? First thing first. You're gonna organize yourself. You need a surfboard. You probably need a suit to go jump in the cold water.
Exactly.
And then have someone teaching you, and then you organize yourself like
Exactly,
that. A companion friend that knows how to surf, and you go in.
Definitely.
And this all comes from love also. So
Yes.
love yourself to go through that pain to achieve the ultimate
Exactly.
love. So that's pretty much, I think. Don't lie to yourself. Don't cheat to yourself. So educate yourself. Love is something that last week we talked about. When we were born, we're blank
slate.
Blank slate.
Yes.
So educate yourself is, you have to learn these things. Sometimes things take time. Learning what love is time, but like, yes, when we're a little baby, we do kind of want that affection, which is like love.
Mhm.
We strive to it, and we go after it. We need it, but like to give love, it's really, you have to kind of put yourself in another place, and
Yes.
to learn how to give love.
Definitely.
Also, so this is all education. If you guys having a hard time with love, you can read about it. Like, a lot of people have dedicated their time and life into breaking the codes. What is love? How love works? Like you can read about it, you can watch, you can hear about
Yes,
it, you can go
definitely.
experience it. A lot of people, unfortunately, don't have love in their surrounding, like maybe their home,
Yeah.
it's lacking love,
Yes,
or
definitely.
the environment they're in. So you have to look for these things, educate yourself. Where can you go get pure love, like nice, good love? Like where does it exist?
Yes,
It's
yes.
important for you guys to like find love. Love is amazing. It's beautiful.
Yes.
If you have one that it's true and real, it's worth it to put time in it and effort in it to get it back.
Mm-hmm.
As much as you put in, you can get it back out also.
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So educate yourself about love. Have you educated yourself about love?
Oh yes, definitely, definitely. This is self-love is actually one of the things that I really studied a lot back in the day. I still do, but not as much as I did in the past, because in the past I was in a more depressed type of dark state where
Yeah.
nothing was working out for me. I couldn't find my values, and then my identity was just like, it was just all over the place. It wasn't really the identity that I really wanted to walk around the world with. And so I wasn't happy. I wasn't optimistic. I wasn't positive. I wasn't really looking forward to living another day. That's how bad it was, So it was either I learned how to love myself, or I was gonna die, pretty much,
Yeah.
to put it in simple words. So what I can tell you about self-love is that self-love is very similar to any journey of success, I would say. It is a journey, and just like any journey of success that you try to pursue, I would say you should look for, like you said, like you should look for someone that for the right people that can love you in the right way. But once you receive that love, it's not about just staying there and just being satisfied with that love that you're receiving from the other people, because that's not good either. You don't just want to depend on other people's love and then not love yourself, because you're always
True.
looking for that reinforcement. You're always asking for those other people to show that love, and then if they don't show that love, then you get angry, because then you're like, oh my God, do you not love me anymore? Like, why aren't you doing that one thing for me anymore? Like, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing favors? Why aren't you complimenting me? All this other stuff.
Right.
So seek for that love. It's good at the beginning, because you do need it in order for you to step out of if you're lacking in self-love right now. You look for that love, but then once you find it, start working on developing your own self-love, because that's the one that's going to last, because it's coming from within. So nobody can take that self-love away from you, only yourself. So
Yeah.
the external, you can't control that. You can't control other people loving you, but you can control the self-love that you feel inside of you. So just like any success journey, look for others.
Right.
And then once you start getting the hang of it, once you start feeling you're in a more peaceful place, then you start seeking self-love all the way.
Awesome. Well, yes, like you said earlier, until you die.
I'll tell you
Smash until you die.
Smash until you die.
That's it. So yeah, love is amazing. We strive for it. We look for it. We always want to have pure love, and so hopefully all what we're talking about is it will help you guys to take you to that place where you are in peace and you have love and you find love. And so one other thing, love, when it comes to love, compassion towards yourself.
Yes.
We should have compassion towards others always, all the
yes.
time. But like we forget to ourselves sometimes. Like we forget that we need love too. And sometimes we have to love ourselves, not to put ourselves become vulnerable on other people are taking advantages of us. And love is important. You have to self-love, especially, right? You have to have compassion to yourself, where you're putting somewhere a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of devotion, and you're not getting anything back. You have to have enough compassion to yourself that, what am I doing? Like, what's going on? You have to be able to sit and talk to yourself and
Yes.
make yourself put yourself in a place where like you're talking to yourself.
Yes.
And are you doing the right thing and everything? So
Yes.
have that compassion to yourself, not to hurt yourself because you're addicted to give love, like something like that. So we all have to become aware of this love, how it's important, and also how it could hurt your well-being also.
Yes.
So and then what is compassion? Compassion is, I have a little story for you guys. First time I really understood what compassion was, that I am very compassionate person, is when I had my son. I was in the delivery room. My son was born. They took him into this big machine that keeps him warm and stuff. And then I remember I forgot my wife for a second. So, the doctors were taking care of her. So I went and staring at his eyes. This little thing, it was like the eyes was moving, the fingers were moving. It was like, oh my God, is this real? Like,
Yes.
it's like that 10 minutes, maybe I was there 10 minutes, and it went like hours. I was so focused and zoomed in, like, what is this,
Wow.
And then I remember I put my finger, and the little fingers hold my hand, like my finger, like it was holding my hand, like it's so small.
Yeah.
At that moment, something came over me, and then it was like, oh my God, like one time I was like that, like
Yeah.
everybody starts from that point, that where he was at that point, and that compassion, that love developed like instantaneously,
Yes.
like it was amazing. I could feel that coming over me,
Yes.
and it never went away. I became that person, and
Yes.
that was something that I experienced. I hope I was able to put you guys perspective what happens, like how this thing works, like how it just comes to you, and you become this person now, when you experience something like that, it will not leave you, it will change you. You'll become a better person, better version of you, and exposing yourself to other possibilities also teaches you how to become that kind of person, like such as going and helping, what do you call, kids don't have houses, like place to live, they go orphanage.
Mm-hmm.
Putting yourself such a place where you go to orphanages and experiencing those kids going, what kind of pain they're going through, and developing that compassion
Mm-hmm.
level, like stage, and that is love, and you just give without expectation of receiving anything back.
Yes.
But in reality, you are receiving a lot from what you're doing at that kind of environment, situation.
Yes.
So compassion is very important. Have compassion, have self-love, learn how to give love, and that would serve you amazing.
Yes. So when you show compassion for yourself, in essence, you're forgiving yourself. You're forgiving yourself for everything that you're holding back from the past. Because a lot of us tend to hold a lot of things from the past. Like, we tend to hold on to our mistakes, to possibly people that we hurt, whether that's emotionally or physically. Perhaps we manipulated people. Perhaps we did all these bad things in the past, right? And because we did all these things in the past, now we consider ourselves a bad person. And because of that, we deny ourselves the right to love ourselves, because we feel like it's not right. It's not right for us to love ourselves when we've done such acts in the past.
Right.
So for me, I feel like you should forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for everything that you've done in the past. Acknowledge the fact that perhaps you weren't aware of what was going on. You just didn't know any better. That's usually what it is. Like, you just don't have enough information, or you're just not aware of certain things. You don't recognize the value of the other person, and so you just manipulate the other person without even caring of what happens to the other person. So it's just part of life, you know. You'll make mistakes, you'll hurt people, and sometimes it's not intentional, but you know, you just do it because you think it's the right choice at the moment, until later you find out that it was a bad decision to do. But you know, at the moment, that's what you think is right, so you do it anyway.
Yeah.
And then also forgiveness, like for other people, when you start to show forgiveness, because a lot of us hold grudges towards other people, we like to hate on people, and that's just like that's just negative energy that you're holding within, and negative energy and self-love just don't go together. So you gotta let go of that stuff. Doesn't mean you have to start the relationship with the other person again and try to work it out, but just forgive the other person and walk away, you know. And kind of like you said, or you might say later in the video, but that you should leave that door open, you know, like
Yes.
it's not like you want to close the door, but you just want to walk away knowing that you forgave that person. I'm not gonna go too deep on that. I'm gonna let you do that. Yeah. But yeah, and also like forgiving your future self also, because do acknowledge that you will be making mistakes possibly in the future. that will happen, even though you know this. There could be times where you just hurt people and it's by accident, and just forgive yourself for anything that you're going to do in the future, and just love yourself for that.
Totally.
And that's like compassion towards yourself, and then compassion for others. I feel like that's sort of like the next step after self-love. Like after you learn how to love yourself, then that's when you start to show love for other people. But first you got to learn how to love yourself before you can really truly love somebody else.
Yeah. So compassion, love, basically you just said something, it reminded me of something, and then I wrote down so I don't forget. So don't be stuck. When you're stuck, you don't know how to love yourself. You have to be unstuck, start loving yourself, and then loving others, and then you're going to receive love back. And this is something where our minds do it. We have to realize, we have to wake up to it, and we have to get out of it. Be unstuck and fix yourself and get out of it. So that's something that you just told me. You reminded me of being stuck. It's such a place where your mind could go, and then like the worst thing, one of the worst things is like feeling victim, or feeling like you're taken advantage of, like feeling you're not worth it. You know, like you like we need to stop. You need to stop that. You need to stop loving yourself first, respecting yourself enough where you go out there, start helping others of their needs, and then when you do so many of this, eventually this will start coming back to you.
Yes.
You know, that you want to call it love coming back to you, call it what you want. But this is how it works. It's a flow.
Yes.
You know, it's not just selfish love. You know.
Yes.
It doesn't work like that. So, to be unstuck, have you had any experience stuck?
Oh, yeah.
Were you stuck something somewhere?
I was very stuck with the mistakes that I had made in the past, because I have actually, like, I've hurt people, I've let people down, I've made promises that I never lived up to.
Ouch.
I've done all of that stuff, and it took me a while to really accept those things and open up to those things too, because I felt like people would hate me for that, for opening up, for letting people know that I did such things. But you know, at the end, I really thought about it through, and I was like, well, you know what, I really didn't know like any better. Like, I was in this place where I felt like I was lonely, like nobody really loved me, and it didn't really matter, because I mean, once you're in that place, it's almost as though you have nothing to lose. So if you start hurting people, it's almost like it doesn't matter, because
self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, it's because like I just didn't show any care for people, so I would be hurting people left and right, and I didn't care, because you know, I felt like I wasn't getting hurt while doing that, but you are hurting yourself for doing that.
Totally.
You'll find out later, but
sooner than better, better, you know, sooner than.
But because I did all that, I was in a place where I was stuck. I couldn't love myself, and I couldn't really accept myself for doing such things, because you know, after you do all those things, you're like, oh my God, like I'm a bad person, you know. I can't love myself.
Yeah, you're kind of describing what we're supposed to like talk next, which is like negative self-talk.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Like,
in that case, I'll just end it there. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
I've been stuck. Yeah.
yeah, stuck is like self negative talk. You know, like you said, we just talk really negative towards your being. Like, you know, like not only saying that I'm a bad person. Because I did this. I hate myself because I can't learn. I can't read. I can't see well. I hate myself. Like that is that's not a place where love resides. Love is something where you start fixing yourself. You start telling yourself, I'm okay. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna see. If I can't see with my eyes, I'm gonna see it differently. There's different ways of seeing it. Like you find different forms and shapes. How you can teach yourself how to see things or understand
Yes.
things, or like there are different ways of learning how to read,
Yes.
how to comprehend, how to see things differently.
Yes.
And get out of being that dark stuck place, like
Yes.
your mind, and start loving yourself for who you are, and then work on it, and then
Yes.
become the better version of you.
Yes.
So negative self-talk is not going to serve you.
Yes.
It will not take you anywhere good. It will definitely keep you behind and get you stuck. Keep you stuck.
Yes.
And you should in any means, any way, if you need to look for help, to ask someone to come and help you, to show you way how to get out of being stuck, get out of being
Yes.
negative self-talk.
Yes.
It's we need to get. You need to fix yourself when when you understand, realize that you are in that
Yes.
in that loop,
Mhm.
vicious cycle.
Yes.
Where it's like days are going by, months are going by, sometimes years going by, which we are not going to live 300 years old. I'm sorry, but we cannot bring back these years or
Yes,
months
yes.
and days.
Yeah.
It's not coming back.
It's not.
Like love yourself enough to realize that, and then fix yourself and take advantage of those years and months that your consciousness is alive, and you
Yes.
can just
Yeah.
go at it, and then make a difference
Yes.
in your life, your family's life, your community, your surrounding. Maybe you become someone so important that you can make a change, a difference in the world.
Yes.
You have to give yourself that what do you call, like that responsibility, like you
The right. Or
the right, like
yeah.
like take it seriously, like
Yes.
be like
Yes.
love yourself enough to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
A quick point I want to share, like a mindset. I want to share a mindset tip here of what helped me to get unstuck.
yeah.
And that's like if any of you have gone through like what I've gone through, what I just shared right now, that you've done these like malicious things, I suppose, in the past, the mindset shift that I really like to use, that I used to, in order for me to get out of that space, was to really see it as in a positive light, because I feel like there's a lot of people who love out there. They love, but they don't love from a place of like they've actually I don't know, let me explain a little bit. Like how you get good at something, like let's just say you're a good drawer, right?
Right.
But you didn't become a good drawer without making some very bad mistakes while you were making the jewelry. So I treat this the same way. Like I feel like I can even love even better now, just because I've done all those mistakes. Like I've hurt people, so now I can understand what that does, and I can love people now from a place where I actually love those people now, because it's from a stronger place. It's not from a place where I'm trying to manipulate the other person to get something out of them and stuff, which we will get into a little bit later in the video about like the conditional and unconditional love. But I feel like everything I just experienced, it really helped me to see, you know, like, okay, I've been in that place, now I can be in this place of like, I can love, but from a place, a very clean place now, where I know what's like, I've made a choice. It's not like I'm pressured by like the people around me, like, you should love, you should show positivity and all this stuff, you know. It's coming from a healthy place now, from a place of...
Yeah, you have to be careful who's telling you that exactly, because you have to kind of learn how to like listen deep inside and engage these people. If they really truly have love or they don't, it's very obvious to kind of like see if they do or they don't. You know, when you feel that's coming from false love. You have to like take a step back and kind of like wait a minute, you know, like can I learn about this a little bit more, you know, like is this what love is supposed to look like? Because there are a bunch of false love out there where people are trying to cheat you out of using that because love is a very powerful entity. Using love as in like you know, bringing you in, pulling you into their trap, or to, you know, to whatever endeavors they have, right? So we have to be really careful about that. Also, commitment. You know, love is commitment too. Like when you commit to your spouse, to you're like, I committed to be a jeweler when I was 14 years old, and today I'm a jeweler. Commitment is very important, very crucial also to deploy love. With commitment, you can achieve such a great things. It will happen if you have the time, the duration of the time to get there. You know, you don't fall out of love. You don't fall out of focus. You will get there. You will experience love. Love is also an experience. It's not only feeling. You know, you actually experience the love, and love yourself enough to be, you know, zoomed in and focused and committed to go all the way. You know, so that's commitment part is so crucial, so important when it comes to love.
I'm committed to loving myself, definitely.
that says it all, right? It's a commitment.
It's a commitment. It definitely is a commitment, because it's something that you can't just be falling off and then getting back on into, and it doesn't work that way. Like once you start the road of loving yourself, you start that journey of loving yourself, you're going all the way, you know, until you die. All right.
Smash until you die.
There isn't no like, oh, I'm gonna stop loving myself for a week, or like I made a mistake and now I can't love myself now for like a while, you know, for like a month or two, you know, like I hurt this person, or you go through a breakup and now you're like, oh my God,
what was I thinking?
I can't love myself no more. Like she was everything. Like I can't love myself anymore, because like I can only feel love around her and stuff like that.
Those are important. Like, you know, like those feelings are real. Important.
Yes, they're real.
You just have to take a little bit of time and then, you know, gauge it and like wait and see, is this something gonna serve you? It's most of the time those things not gonna serve you. Love yourself so you can love others.
Ooh.
So others are you can control. Earlier you said, like, we cannot control others, but we can control us. We should start with us, and then love is a good place to start. And then, you know, start developing yourself on how I'm going to love, what is love, what does it take to love myself. And then once you understand, and then now you have to extend it to like start loving others. And then love is also an energy, give and take. You have to It's like my dad used to say, don't throw your luck in somewhere empty. Like that means like when you throw something, it should hit somewhere. So
Okay.
you become kind of like lucky, you know.
Yes.
So love is also it's kind of works the same way. If you know you have eye on someone and then you're throwing your love towards, and it's not sticking, and you're still doing it and doing it and doing it.
Yeah.
Whether that's especially when there's a person where you have no control over,
Oh, yeah.
you know, another entity. And then if it's not working, you should realize, you have to understand, maybe that's not the right time, that's not the right place. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
and that's something we should pay attention and focus, because when you love yourself and then you're trying to love others,
Yes.
it has to have a flow.
Yes.
But also, we know we have other stories where, you know, like people pursue that individual so for a very long time in a right fashion, right manner, and sometimes it does work. You know, we have the story of Grant Cardone. He talks about this all the time, like how he went after his wife
Oh, yeah.
for like over a year, and you know,
yeah.
other people start telling him that you're crazy,
Yeah.
you're stalking her, you know, this and that. But like the way he says it, like, dude, I wasn't stalking anyone. She never told me no. You know,
Yeah,
I was
Yeah.
trying to sell myself to, but
he was committed.
He was committed.
He was definitely committed.
totally,
It's-
yeah. So you know, like you cannot. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, because we talked about both sides,
Yes.
you cannot push this
Yes.
love on someone.
No.
You know, you can
You
you
cannot.
can represent it. You can like show it and
Yes.
then say
Yes.
that I'm here. You know, like,
Yes.
and I exist, and I have love
Yes.
for you, but
Mm-hmm.
so you have to love yourself enough not to embarrass yourself, like not to make yourself feel,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like shitty, you know, like love yourself enough not to do that for yourself, and then so you can love others. So I guess when you don't do all that, when you love yourself, you have enough to give back, you know. Some of the love that you have, like you develop for yourself so much that you can give out now to others.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you love others? Like, how do you love others? Like, how much of your self-love you can give out to, like,
Yeah.
you know?
I see a lot of people, especially on social media. There's a lot of people that they like to rant and complain that they're putting all this love out there, and then like they just don't feel like they're getting that love back, and like it's also it's like as though they're loving, but they're expecting that love to come back to them, and from a specific people, and if those specific people don't like love them back, like they feel like they're unworthy of love all of a sudden. And so I have to say this: loving other people is risky. It does come with its risks. It does come with rejection. If you try to show your love to someone and they just don't love you back, I mean, just run into that sense of rejection. You run into the sense of like, yeah, they just don't love you. You're exposing yourself to that type of let's just say feedback, and then what naturally tends to happen is that once these people start to get that feedback, their rejection, they like to pull back, and then they start to complain that maybe I shouldn't love that much, you know, maybe I should love like a little bit, maybe just give like little
Not gonna work.
yeah, little like sprinkles of love here and there, you know, like I'm not gonna love all the way because, you know, I don't want to get rejected, or they fear that they might love this person and then this person might like hurt them in a way back. So you have to understand that once you're going to put yourself out there, you're going to start loving people. Do understand that you do run the risk of getting rejected or even getting hurt at some point. Like this person might pretend to love you too, and then at the end they might like screw you over in some way, and that's like the risk of like loving other people. And that's pretty much like, yeah, like just like any other thing that you do in life, it comes with its pros and its cons. And
Yeah, I heard a story like that this morning. Like you think you're helping someone by giving them their space, and then their
Yes.
do so they can do what they want to do, like from a space of love.
Yes.
And those people, they act like they really love you because you're giving them all that, but like they take full advantage of you, and they will break your heart. And
Yes.
then now you not only you don't believe in love any longer, but like you stop loving yourself, like start
Yes.
blaming yourself, all
Yes.
this negativity, like,
yes,
but that's not the answer. The answer is love yourself,
yeah, love yourself.
to rise again,
Yes,
and fix yourself, educate yourself. Don't do it again. That's
Yes.
life is like that. Just like you learn not to do the same mistake again. But like when you do the same mistake over and over, we always talk about in this podcast, like get a piece of paper, write it down, what happened, what he said, what she said, what he said, what he said, what she said, what she said. Go back and read it. If you forget, don't forget.
yes,
Right?
yes.
Go back, read it 3 months later, 3
Yes.
years later, read again. Oh, yeah, so exactly. We're not going to remember like what exactly we said, what we didn't say.
Yes,
Have a journal. Journal is an amazing thing. Like you keep a journal. If you're having that kind of problem, you can solve your problem with having a journal. Write it down and then go back and read it again and again until you understand your story. That is your story.
Yes.
That happened to you. And then once you learn about your story, start loving yourself and don't change. And give it unconditionally. Don't
Yes.
expect anything back.
yes.
But don't give, my dad used to say, don't give your hands and legs with it,
Mhm.
But like do it in a manner where when this person tries to harm you in any way, your legs and hands not gone with it,
Yes.
keep it for you. And so,
Definitely,
but
yes.
but love yourself is important. This is what we're talking about. Also, just like be reasonable, in love. But there's the other side of this too. Be unreasonable also. So you have to kind of understand, and like when you have this kind of data, you can go back and read and understand, learn about yourself, your story, and then you understand where to use being unreasonable or being reasonable,
Mhm.
And I like the part unreasonable, but I think being reasonable it's good too. So you guys can measure where it fits.
Mhm.
It's we're talking about
Yes.
this. This is really really difficult subject.
Yeah.
So I hope people are understanding and like we're opening their minds by talking about this.
Oh yeah.
So you have something to say about hard to give. Hard to give is like I think we kind of
Yeah,
went
I think
over
we
this.
touched- I think one thing I just wanted to emphasize of what you said was what's the story part, because everybody has a story, and the reason why you can't love yourself is because you associate a negative connotation to that story. So in order for you to really love yourself to the core, you have to accept and embrace your story, no matter how it is. Embrace it, but see it in a positive way as well. Thank yourself, have gratitude for every experience that you had in the past, whether it's good or bad, and move forward. Like, don't get stuck and like, oh, like your story's bad, like I did this, I got screwed over, I tried to love that person and then they didn't love me back, or like whatever, I lost this, I lost that. Like, okay, that happened, okay, I embrace it. Okay, you lost whatever, it happens to all of us. So just move forward and embrace your story. By embracing it, I mean that you start sharing your story with others. Start sharing it, but from a positive light. Share it in a way where it doesn't sound like you're complaining about it, but more like like, oh, like this happened to me, but this is what I learned from it. So it comes from a
Yes.
place of like positivity, like it's not from a victim type of mentality where you're like, oh, please, can you understand my story, like like please have like make me feel good, like you don't
Yeah,
understand
yes,
how I feel bad and all
at
this stuff, like
end of the day, we're all alone. That's why we have this medallion saying that love yourself, because we are
Yes.
all alone. It has to start within,
mm-hmm.
and then it's not without.
Mhm.
Like within, you have to come to a place where you love yourself, and then you have all this self-belief system where it's serving you
Yes.
to become the better version of you.
Yes.
And then it doesn't matter what others are saying or telling you, or like you especially don't tell yourself what others are trying to sell you their idea. You know,
Yes,
you don't
yeah.
buy it.
Yes.
You shouldn't buy it. Sell or be sold.
Yes.
Right? There's a book out there, you guys. Sell or be sold by
Sell or
Grant
Be Sold.
Cardone.
Yeah.
You should read that. And don't buy the idea.
Yes.
Sell to yourself that I love myself. I don't. If this wasn't right for me,
Mm-hmm.
I will rise again like a phoenix
Mm-hmm.
and become this amazing person that I always wanna. I know I will be, right. So, and then this is what it takes. And then have gratitude, like
Oh, yeah, definitely.
like be humble and heavy. Starts also, that starts from within.
Yes,
Also,
yes,
like,
gratitude
you
is
know,
definitely-
gratitude is like really powerful. That belief system where if you have that towards you, you will be
Mhm.
able to deploy that outwards
Yes.
towards others.
Oh,
you know?
definitely, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Gratitude is
Yeah.
very, very important. I think we might touch on that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Love has an energy field. Okay, so if you guys know anything about energy field, everything is energy around us. Electricity, energy. Humans are energy. Mother Earth, the field, has an energy field. Sun has an energy field. The cosmos have energy field. Everything has energy field. Sound that comes out from my mouth has an energy field. Everything has an energy field.
Yes, yes.
Like
yes.
negative energy and positive energy is two different positive and negative. Such as like if you walk in a full
Yes.
room of people, you
Yes.
come in with negativity and you're mad, upset.
Yes.
That room becomes quiet,
Oh, yeah.
right? Everyone's
Yes.
like, "What's wrong with this person?" If you come into that room with positive, like happy and yelling, screaming, happy like thoughts, and you know,
Yes,
like
yes.
really excited, that room becomes more energetic. Suddenly, everyone is up, dancing, having fun. You know,
Yes.
like everyone's laughing, smiling. Like you can change the energy of that room.
Yes.
Energy is superior over
Yes.
everything. So love has an energy too. Like when you have love, everyone talks about you like he's amazing. Like he's full of love, and
Yes.
he's like he can give love. You go talk to him, he'll help you. Like you know, this kind of
Yes.
this energy is contagious.
Yes.
A lot of people, when they're down, they probably want to go. You probably want to go find those kind of people around you and spend time with them. But be careful. Don't be energy vampire. Self-love is amazing. Have self-love. Love is energy filled. Don't be energy vampire. Don't go somewhere where you take someone full energy. Don't give anything back. If you don't have anything to give back, stay quiet. Be humble.
Yes.
Listen to self-love. Love yourself. That kind of information. That kind of talk, and then take a lot out of it. And don't just drain this person. Don't make this person go exhausted, because this person does not want to see you again later on. So if you want this person's help or his presence, you have to be courtesy of not overstepping, like not overtaking his energy. And that's I'm calling it like energy vampire, don't be one. And that is gonna help you to, this person or this energy will help you to start developing your your love yourself part. So I'm sure you've seen people or situations where people, like, you try to help someone and like they just come and suck all your energy from you, and like you're like depleted, you're done afterwards. You're like, oh my god, I don't want to see this person again, like, but like you probably were that person or one time,
Exactly. That's what I was about to say, actually. I was gonna be like, I haven't really, like, I haven't had the energy sucked out of me, but but that's because I've been the one to suck the energy, and I know what that, I know how that dynamic works. And it's something that's very easy to fall into if you lack self-love. I remember falling into this when I was younger. Actually, this happened to me more in like my school years when I was going to, mostly in high school, because I would try to surround myself with these like high value guys, like the popular guys. Like I wanted to be like them, so then I would be around them, and I would try to like suck their energy as much as I could, because it made me feel as though like I was that person, like I was popular, like I was of high value and all this stuff, and it's just bad. It's just really bad because
you lose.
Yes.
You lose that.
First of all, you lose all self-love that you have, and then second of all, then you become dependent on them, to approve of you. And then that's just like the worst place to come from if you're really seeking like self-love. So
you're not giving anything back.
Yes. So
it's there is a what is it like? Is it a condition, or like it's like something that comes? People do it without even realizing. I know for sure I did it too, but like. When I learned about it, when I got out of it, I would look back and be like, oh my god, and then that kind of scenario happens in front of me. This other person doing it to me, I'm like, I feel so like depleted afterwards. I'm like, I can't take this anymore. Like I don't want to see this guy anymore. Don't open the door for this person, or like you try to avoid this person.
Yes,
so you
yes.
have to be careful if you being that person. Like you don't want to be the person where people are avoiding you.
I feel like it becomes an addiction too, because it's so easy to do that, and it's harder to love yourself than it is to just suck the energy out of someone. Sucking the energy out of someone is like so simple. It's easy. Just go, you're around them and you start like doing what you're doing.
All you have to do is wear like vampire clothes, go out there and just be one.
And so it's like the easy way out of love. And just
totally.
Just don't go there. Like
that's not gonna serve you, me, anyone. It actually keeps you behind, because it's not easy to develop relationships, and once you break those relationships, now you're all alone. Now it's even harder for you to start loving yourself, and then going forward to better places, like becoming better version of you, or becoming important.
And then and then like a word of warning, actually, because once you become that person, you do put yourself at risk, because if you don't love yourself and then you start becoming like the vampire sucker, then whoever you're sucking the energy out of, if they realize that that's what's going on, they pretty much they own you. Like they fucking own you. So if they want to like manipulate you, or they want to make you do something, like you're gonna do it, because you're like so connected to them at an energy level.
Believing.
Yeah. So like, word of warning: if you're there, those people can really if their intentions are bad, they can really manipulate you and like they'll take over your life and everything, your belief system, and then you'll just become like their puppet.
Yeah.
So it's dangerous.
I was gonna say that.
It's
Yeah.
dangerous. So
Yeah, I don't know if I've experienced that. I've had very strong personality from beginning. I was always like the dominant. I was always a leader personality. When I couldn't lead, I pretty much didn't hang around with those people. I left. I did my own thing by myself until I found new people where I was like, hey guys, you guys want to go here? Come and follow me. You know, I was always that person. And
yeah, now I'm kind of like that, but back in the day, I was.
But there's a leader and there's a leader. Like there's a leader where it takes you to the promised land, and there's a leader where fucking it takes you to the dungeon. You know, like like to die.
Yes.
Like maybe not real die, but like spiritually, and start hating yourself for it too. You know, and then this is the opposite of what we're talking about. Like love yourself. Like you could actually start hating yourself too. So.
Yes.
This is why we have the medallion. This is why we came up with this. Like you wear this heart. It says love yourself, and then it will remind you always, like to be what we're saying, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, that's like.
Yeah. Oof.
I wanted to come up with some jewelry, some medallions where it's meaningful. Like it actually has a purpose. You know, and when you put your money where your mouth is, then it's like it has a value, you know. That's another thing where you wear something like this. This is gonna be always, you know, like gonna remind you to be this person. Like why be something that not gonna serve?
Powerful.
Yeah, amazing. I love what I'm doing, and this is who I am, and then this is why I made those medallions. This is why we're doing this podcast. This is why we exist. This is our existence.
Yes.
So let's move on, which is love should be unconditional for it to work. You know.
Yes.
And
yes, definitely.
unconditional is like very, very powerful word, especially you know, like when it comes to being a parent, when it comes giving yourself to something, some entity. A lot of people, they believe in I don't know how to say, like religion, like group, like community, like, you know, and when you give yourself unconditionally and not expect anything back, then you are giving love. You know, this comes from a place of love. And then when you love yourself, when you have love towards you are, you know, you can give love, and you can hopefully you can make a difference. You can make a change in this, what you believing towards. Yes. And you know, like unconditional is really crucial, important. We should do things unconditionally, not expect anything back in return. It's not a condition. It's not a give and take. You know, it's like it's a give. Yes. It's almost like gift you're giving away. Yes. In a form of love. And when you give love as a gift, people will receive it, will know, will feel it, because we earlier we talked about love is energy, and the energy is different. It's when you hold it, you will feel it. You know, I've had so many experiences from like energy that we talked about. Someone walk in and with different kind of energy. I've had such amazing experiences that I know this is how it works. This is what it happens. And if you're gonna give love, give it unconditionally. You're basically planting love. You're planting love here, there. And then when the time comes, those are gonna grow. Those people are gonna understand. Those places are gonna grow. Those places are gonna know what you did for them. That they're not getting this from everywhere. It's like you cannot go buy love. They don't sell it in the marketplace. This is something that comes from compassion, from you should have gratitude against it, and take it and be that person. You know, be full of love and give unconditionally, and it will make a difference. It will come back to you 100-fold.
You defined it pretty well. Although everything I would have to add to that is, I mean, it should be like an energy transference, almost like you're transferring energy from yourself to the other person. Right. So it doesn't really matter what's on the superficial. How is it that you decide to show love to the other person? Just as long as that energy that you're doing it unconditionally is there, you know. This is something I like to do. This isn't something that everybody should, but something I like to do is it's like that little cherry on the top type of love, which is once you get to know a person, you get to understand the person, and you get to understand like their values and their belief system and what they like and what they don't. You can almost tailor that love to them and give them a specific love. You can love them in a specific way where they respond to it and they feel loved.
It has to come from a pure place.
Yes.
If I feel it, if I feel that it's not coming from pure place, I have this invisible wall. I just put it up right away, and then I don't put up all the way, but I put up high enough where they're gonna have a hard time jumping over, and then I'll be picking down, in my mind, like, say it again. What do you mean? Like, what was that all about? Like, is this genuine? Is this real? I've been hurt a lot. So and knowingly, unknowingly, I got hurt a lot, and this is how I deal with this kind of situation where my wall is not high enough where someone has a hard time jumping over, so I can protect myself. I won't make myself very vulnerable, but I make myself a little bit vulnerable, because vulnerability is, like it's a like how I said, like, leave the doors open, like that's the receiving end of it. If you close it all the way, you're not going to receive anything. Even though if it was negative, I still want to like experience it, not full extent, so I can like have another data, another thing to work with. So that's what I do. I always investigate that this was real and this is true love. It's coming from pure place, and that wall helps me to slow things down a little bit, and then helps me to analyze and understand if this is what he's saying, she's saying is true. It's going to work for both of us. Since love is energy, and it can't be working from one way. That would be, actually, it will be hurtful. You don't want to hold just negative or positive. It will shock you, right? I mean, negative won't, but like especially positive will shock you.
Yes.
So negative is good. Like it passes by the energy. So that's how I deal with it.
Something you touched on while you were talking was vulnerability, because I feel like vulnerability is very, very important as well when you're trying to in this self-love journey, like just being vulnerable to others. And then because a lot of people like to you like to only put out the good part of you, and you try to hide like the thing that's not going well for you, like the problems you may have in your life, or problems that you've had in the past and stuff, and you try to hide those, and that actually kind of prevents you from actually being loved, and then the other person to feel loved by you. Because if you're not willing to put out your dark side, you're not willing to reveal the negative things that are going on in your life, then the other person won't feel like comfortable around you. They'll feel like, oh my God, like I can only tell this person like about my successes and the good stuff about my life, but I can't really tell like the negative stuff, the stuff that's going bad. So vulnerability is really important. Like, just be vulnerable. And
that word you said, dark side.
And it's like
it's I think almost everyone has a dark side.
and it's hard. I mean, it's not easy to become vulnerable, because there's like this there's the ego that gets in the way, right? Like your ego is like oh, like don't show like that bad image, don't show the bad stuff,
No,
no, like hide that stuff, like
Yeah.
only show the glory, the success, the things that have gone right, you know,
Yeah.
and all that other stuff, you know, suppress it, you know, but you know.
Love yourself enough to.
Yeah, at some point, you know, you just gotta accept those things and just, you know, put them out there and be like, you know what, I'm human. I've made mistakes. I've done my wrongs, and you know what, like I've changed. I've learned from them. I do regret doing what I did, but at the same time,
Can't change it.
yeah, you can't change it. So
Now time to start loving yourself.
yeah, like all you can really do is like learn from the experience and move on, and you know, don't do it again, obviously. And yeah, but just be vulnerable and be open.
If you're dealing with your dark side, sometimes you cannot talk to anyone, but you can talk to yourself. If you come from love yourself point of view, you will be able to talk to yourself, and you will be able to make sense in your mind, and what is the word? And forgive yourself.
Yes.
Forgiveness will take you out of your misery. Start loving yourself, so
Yes.
you become the better person.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah. Forgive yourself. Once in a while you say I love you, doesn't mean you're diminishing yourself. So a lot of people like a lot of families, they don't use the word I love you. They don't. It doesn't exist in the family. And then those kids grow up, they don't know how to use this word. And then it's such a different family from the other family where they use that word a lot. You know, I love you. And if you say I love you, does not mean that you're putting yourself down. Doesn't mean that you're becoming vulnerable. You know, it doesn't mean you're diminishing yourself in any way. You're actually adding value to the relationship.
Yes.
You know, I have friends where we tell each other like I love you, but like not love like that kind of love, but like love of self-respect, you
Yes.
know, gratitude,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
I respect, like I care,
Yes.
you know, like that kind of love. And when you say that word,
Yes.
when it represents that, then that person knows, understands, and
Yes.
fucking they love it, you know. Like it shouldn't stop you using that word. If someone doesn't understand, you just explain to them just a second, like this is what I mean, bro, you know. And then if they don't want it, then you know, then probably they're one of those families that they never use the love word in their
Yes,
family.
yes.
What can you do? You can change that, but it shouldn't stop you telling someone I love you.
No.
Whether it's you know, like your son and daughter, your friend, your mom and dad, or your spouse,
Yes.
you know, like
Yes.
it's okay.
Yes,
You-
definitely.
we can use this word.
Yes.
You know, like be okay with it. But if it, like I said, you know, like one of those kind of families, you can't, probably you don't want to use it there, but like
Mhm.
that shouldn't stop you using the word
Yeah.
somewhere else, you know, where someone is like helping you, giving themselves to you, and then you just say I love you, man, thank you, like
Mhm.
you're awesome, you know,
Yeah.
like that. So love yourself, and
Yes.
and give little piece of it out. It's okay,
Yeah.
it will be well taken, you know, most of
Yes.
the time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely when you say I love you in any like relationship, what it does is that it increases the level of comfort between the two people. It increases the level of trust, because and it increases the level of love, of course, because you see you're opening up a whole lot more once you say things like I love you and I care for you and everything along these lines, because you know it shows that you're willing to go to that level of where you'll you know, you'll be honest. You'll be an honest person once you well, once you start communicating with that other person, the other person will understand that you're coming from an honest place, no matter how broken down you may feel, no matter like you'll just share whatever is in your mind. You know, you won't be filtering that, like, oh, I'm only gonna, you know, share, like I said, like, you're only gonna share the good stuff, but you're gonna share everything about yourself. And you might be going through bad times, through good times, but you know, the best relationships are those where you can share everything. You can be completely 100% open, 100% vulnerable,
Right.
and I feel like that comes also like with a level of strength too. Like
Totally.
when you're able to
become a man.
Yes, exactly, because you accept
Totally.
yourself completely with your flaws and with the good stuff. You know,
Totally.
both
Oh.
in harmony.
You're not hiding.
Yes, exactly.
You know.
So like
Yeah. So my paper is almost running out. I don't want to say the word, but I feel like this is important because we're talking about love, and love is very vulnerable. And I want to use this word today because this is something happens, and so there's such thing where it's a negative love, and then false love. So earlier we were talking about getting hurt. You give yourself, and then people use you and everything.
yes,
So a lot of these things are negative,
yes,
and then you have to be aware of it. So
yes,
basically, I guess we have to say here that rise your awareness. You know, build your awareness up, and when your awareness becomes wide and you go up and looking down, you start seeing things that not gonna serve you. It's like it's bad for you, and when you see that, you know, choose the one that it's gonna serve you. Choose the one that it's gonna help you propel forward. You know, don't have false starts. You know, everything has a finish. Relationship starts, ends. You know, careers starts, ends. Life starts, ends. Everything has an end. So it's like there are a lot of races, starts we are having in our
Yes.
journeys, in our lives, in our you know,
yes,
living. So you have to, if you have less false starts, then those are you know, good starts, and then finishes. You're gonna be ahead.
yes,
You know, you're gonna be in a better place.
yeah,
When you're better place, when you're having a lot of successes and wins, you're gonna develop your self-love even deeper and stronger, so you can put out more love. And then a lot of people, they say love is gonna save the world. You know, I think Beatles, they have a song, "All We Need Is Love." You know,
Oh, yeah.
that's the song. So people have their own ideas, their own way of seeing how this works, and
Yes.
they made a song out of it. They
yes,
wrote poems out of it. There is you know, but we're trying to talk about all the positive and not positive sides of it, and just like
Yes.
all levels of what can happen if you do what you do.
yes,
So we've, you know, we had some experiences. We know a few things, though. We're trying to put out there and trying to talk about our medallion. Oh, you know, and the medallion is gonna save you, right? Love yourself. Remind you of being that
Yeah.
person, always towards you.
Self-love is more about removing a lot of negative stuff that's in the way, rather than like putting in new things.
I think.
Yeah, rather than adding new mindsets. Even though you will be adding new mindsets in order to improve the quality of your self-love, but I feel like the majority of the things that you will be doing in your journey of self-love is removing a lot of things. Whether that's like we spoke a lot about a lot of things that you got to remove from your head and stuff. But one of the things that really gets in the way is you find love for external things, and most of these things are like yeah, just things outside. You say that you love, you love, I don't know, you love playing video games, you love watching Netflix, you love beer, you love drugs, you love this, you love that. Cigarettes. But you forget to tell yourself that.
Hardest thing in human being.
Exactly. You forget to say that you love yourself.
Habits.
So you're first of all, the word love, it starts to lose value once you start doing that, because you start associating love with like external things. If you start using the word to say that you love certain things, you love this, you love that, and you forget to tell the people in your life that you love them, and you forget to tell yourself that you love yourself, then that word starts losing value. It starts losing the human connection, let's just say, because you start associating that word love with materialistic things. And while that's not bad, that you like these materialistic things, these materialistic things are not you. Like, yes, perhaps you work very hard for them, and they are a reflection of your hard work and what you've done with your life. Sure, that's great, but don't associate your self-love with those things, because those things have nothing to do with your self-love. Like, you can literally lose all these things, and you can still have self-love for yourself. Like, you got that right. Like there's no connection between your self-love and the materialistic things around you. So if anything, I would say to start cutting the habit of saying that you love your materialistic things and start focusing the word love towards yourself and towards the people in your life, because that's where it actually matters as far as love goes. And yeah. Right. So one of the things I really wanted to touch upon is identity, because I feel like a lot of people out there don't understand what identity means and how identity works. So let me explain what identity is. So your identity is composed by the standards and the beliefs that you have in your life. So your standards being like your core values, like what are you willing to die for? What are your standards? Like, what's your purpose in your life? What are your goals? What are your ambitions? What are the things that matter to you? So those are like your standard, your core values. And then the belief system is like, like, how do you see the world? What do you see right? What do you see wrong? And once you understand your identity, then I feel like you know yourself to a certain point where it allows you, it gives you that space to love yourself, because now you know who you are. And don't get me wrong, like, identity is something that can change. It can change. But you must understand like what's your current identity, and then go from there. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how you see
well, identity is very important now. When we were little kids and you turn 40, 50 years old, two different people. Many people has came and gone.
Yes.
You've heard the terms of identity crisis. Mm-hmm. We are always in identity crisis. We're always changing.
Yes.
We didn't stay 10 years old. When we turned 15 years old, we were in identity crisis. When we turned 20, when we turned 25, we were in identity crisis. We turned 30, 40, 50.
Yes.
It all depends on where you are, but like when you learn love yourself, you will always deploy that in every identity crisis, and you be okay. You know, like it's okay to have identity crisis, because I don't want to be 5 years ago who I was, especially 5 years ago. I was totally different person. I was so different that I don't recognize myself. In my mind, I'm the same person, but like the way I identify, I was very different then. Yeah. You know, like I identify myself as I didn't trust anyone. I was gonna do everything. I was gonna be successful by myself without anyone's help. Like that was my identity. My identity was, people used to call me doctor. Like I'm a jeweler doctor. Like they called me doctor. I was like, what do you mean? Like I'm not a doctor, but you know. Yes. That was completely what I did back then. Was like individual person trying to make a change. Yes. But but like you know, at one point you realize, you understand that this is not possible. This is not going to work out. You have to change your identity. Yes. You have to start believing. You start deploying a little bit of love,
Yes.
like bringing other people to come help you out to develop something that it's gonna work. It's worth it for everyone now.
Yes.
You're becoming unselfish,
Yes.
detachment from
Yes.
your previous identity,
Yes.
and you detach yourself. You
Yes.
become this. You develop
Definitely.
yourself you start loving yourself a little bit differently. You
Yes.
become this other person.
Totally. Yeah.
So identity is, it's okay to go identity crisis. It's okay. You have to get
Yes.
out of your crisis, go find yourself again, become then when almost like crab, like they leave their shell behind. Their body grows so much that
Mhm.
they actually shed their shell,
Mhm.
and then they develop another shell. It's
Yeah.
like when
Yeah.
it's when your identity is done, you're done. Just leave it behind,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
go
yeah.
forward.
Mhm.
And always find yourself become better version of you.
Yes.
Always,
Definitely.
identity. Yeah, it's so important.
Yeah.
Love yourself. Each time you have to love yourself. Every time you have to love.
Yeah.
You have to do this with love. You have to deploy love all the time. You don't get stuck. Earlier we talked about like you don't
Mhm.
get stuck in one place and then start
Yeah.
deploying all these not positive words on you.
Yes.
You have to get unstuck. You have to develop your new identity and then start loving yourself.
Yes.
And then you'll be okay.
Mhm.
It's okay. We always talk about like being not successful, like and then it's okay if you don't succeed.
Yes.
Like keep on going. The success will come. Like do it from place of love and place of focus.
Yes.
Yeah, forgiveness is such a powerful thing that we have to deploy on and on, and forgiveness of ourselves and other people, like especially family members when
Mhm.
when they do. The family members have such a powerful connection to you because of the bloodline, because of
Mhm.
the growing up and like the same mom, same dad, the same environment. You cannot replace that.
Mhm.
You have, if something happened over there, you have to know how to forgive and how much to forgive.
Yeah.
And like you don't have to, like earlier I said, like don't give your hands and legs with it.
Yeah.
Like forgive, but like don't forget.
Yeah.
Something happened to you. You don't just forgive and
Yes.
and just go in it like it's gonna be okay this time.
Yeah.
I would not forget. I would remind myself this is what happened. I forgive this person, but also
Mhm.
I have this caution.
Mhm.
Like if you guys watch NASCAR, every time something happens to one of the cars, caution flag comes up, yellow flag, slow down, 60
Yes.
miles an hour, no more 200 miles an hour.
Definitely.
This rule is amazing. We can use this rule in our personal lives. And
Yeah.
I used to love watching NASCAR. I still do, but I don't watch it any longer. But I do use that rule all the time. When I see something that is not correct, that's not out of place, I will deploy that caution, the yellow flag in my mind. I will slow down immediately, So forgiveness, yes, forgiveness is important. We have to deploy forgiveness, but don't forget, take precautions. Be cautious.
Yeah.
Be cautious of like not going all the way in again without without having some kind of barrier. Like. But you have to forgive. If you don't, you're gonna feel so unease, like you're gonna have pain, and then when you have so many of those pains, you actually gonna have, like anxiety.
Mhm.
If you don't forgive, it will create anxiety. It doesn't create depression.
Yes.
I don't believe it might, but I think most likely it's gonna create anxiety attacks, and you have to forgive. And don't forget, there is this phrase out there, forgive and forget. I'm sorry, I don't believe in that. I believe you forgive and be cautious. Like don't forget actually, but the caution flag is always up. It's always like there's danger. There's something up ahead on the road. So but also forgiveness is very important. You have to deploy that. You have to use it. You shouldn't forget about this one.
Yes, definitely. So a lot of us want to wait until things are perfect, our circumstances are perfect, we're perfect, that we look perfect, that everything in our life is perfect, and then only then, once everything's perfect, now we can love ourselves. We can give ourselves that permission to love ourselves because everything's perfect, because our work is perfect, because our projects are perfect, whatever. So what I want to say here is that you shouldn't strive for perfection. The best way I can define perfection is that perfection is based on a person's self-perception of the world. So depending on how they see the world, that's how they will see perfection. So something that's perfect to me will not be the same thing, will not be perfect to you. And this is something that's very obvious, but at the same time, like, people just don't notice it that well, or at least they don't notice it as quickly.
Because they're very judgmental.
Yeah. And then you get into like the comparison game that, like, I'm better than you are, and all this stuff, and that's not coming from a place of self-love to begin with, because once you're trying to prove yourself that you're better than the other person, or that your work is more perfect than the other person, and that their work is bad or something, then that kills self-love, because you're looking after your own self-interest, and you're looking after your own way of seeing the world, and you're forgetting about everybody else. You're closing out everything, and to me that's just like for me, I think you should strive to just be the best. Always put in 100% and do, just be the best person that you can be. As far as self-love goes, love the way you want to love, and do that fully, do it as best as you can with what you have. And of course, educate yourself to become even better. But at this point, accept the level of self-love, the quality of self-love you can offer, and then move on from there. Don't expect it to be perfect, and don't expect everything else around you to be perfect as well in order for you to wait to love yourself. You can love yourself from right now.
Totally.
Just by watching this video already, you can start loving yourself. You don't have to wait until...
Give permission to yourself to love yourself.
Exactly.
Self-love, love yourself is superior of anything out there that stops you from doing what you want to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like you said, don't listen to other people. A lot of people, when they don't have this, self-love, they're trying to diminishes your belief system. Like, they're trying to put you down and telling you, like, what are you doing? This is, you always do wrong. You're always like. It doesn't matter. Just keep on loving yourself, and then educating yourself going forward. Yeah, I mean, are you finished? Yeah. Perfection. This is what perfection means. I'm a jeweler. The reason I became really, really good jeweler, the best jeweler, because I put my time. I did the same thing thousands and thousands and thousands of times. When you do something about thousands of times, you start doing it from a habit place. You start developing neurons where they are permanently, they're attached to that part, and that becomes your habit. That becomes your, how do you say, like do it without even thinking. Like, you do it I explained this before in one of my videos. Like, when you're driving home, sometimes when you're driving from your house to a place, it seems like it took longer time.
Yeah.
When you're driving from there to back to your home, it seems like it was a lot shorter.
Yes.
Probably it was a lot shorter because you didn't even think about doing
Yes.
right, left, how fast you're gonna
You
go,
did
which
it.
street you're gonna take. You
Yeah.
just did it out of
Unconsciously.
unconsciously.
Yeah.
This is perfection. You know, like you become to this place where you become, you start doing things unconsciously, and you start doing things like by habit, and you start doing things so good because you're not even trying any longer. You just know how to do
Yes.
this. You know,
Yes.
the test. More you take chances, more you insert yourself into other things, like where you consider them in the beginning they're very hard, but like when you do that, you learn it and you do it all over and over thousands of times, you become really perfect, and you become perfection. Also, athletes, they do one game, one move thousands of times.
Yes.
So they become this like sometimes you watch Kobe Bryant throwing the basketball. Wow, he looks perfect. The guy practiced millions of times that shot. That's why he's perfect. He wasn't perfect when he was born. You know, he probably had talent, but like he practiced and he worked on the talent. He became perfect in it. You know, and that's perfection. Like, you do something over and over and over, and then you become perfect in it. And when there's like little mistakes, it doesn't even show because you're doing such a good job, such a good way that small mistakes not going to count as much as like when you're doing the opposite is true also. You know, you're doing a little bit of good stuff, but you're doing big mistakes. Now your piece looks crooked. You know, it doesn't look right. So you have to strive. You have to go after perfection because this is where the value is. You know, you being perfect in like your talent, your whatever you're doing. Like especially in your occupation, when you're perfect, then you become very valuable, and then people will know that. Then you're gonna make the money that you wish you want to have, and this is what perfection is really. I mean, do it a lot, do it nonstop, become perfect. You know, in what you're doing, and then that doesn't mean that you're perfect. You mean like you know how to do this perfect.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
That's
You know,
perfection.
make that distinction.
Then this also, because we're talking about love yourself, it comes from within also. You know, you want to do this because becoming perfect in something, it takes such a long time. It's so like discouraging. So many times you want to like stop because like who wants to do 10,000 times one move? You know, like it's so tiring. And like to become perfect, that's what it takes. I'm trying to say self-love, self-discipline. So you become perfect. Discipline is crucial. Self-love is such an important thing to do something 10,000 times to become perfect.
Yes.
So this is how you become perfect in one thing that's so important to you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and then independent from like, yes, you're right. Like perfection, like that is something to strive for as far as like success goes, and any journey that you decide to embark to, as far as like, you know, your purpose and everything. But of course, but independent from that, like in self-love form, you know, you can already start to self-love yourself, and you know, you don't you can always work on also on like how you love yourself and how you love others. But you can start now. You know, you don't have to wait until you're like really, really good at it. You can you can practice and train to, you know, deliver that love a little better. But you know, you can there is no right or wrong really, to as long as it's coming from that genuine place and from that place of like it's unconditional. You know, as long as it's coming from that place, it's already good enough for you to start, you know, loving yourself and loving other people.
Totally.
So another thing I wanted to touch on was being selfish, but in the right way. So, you know, being selfish has like a negative connotation, almost like people say that, oh, don't be selfish, being selfish is bad, and all this stuff. Looking after yourself is not a good thing. You should always be loving others, always love others, and like don't love like they don't really try to focus too much on loving yourself, but more like loving others. And this is like so wrong in my opinion, because like how can you possibly like love other people 100% or as much as you can if you don't love yourself first? Like
right.
That's just like it just doesn't work that way. Like if you really stop and think about it, it just does not work. You just can't. It's almost as though like, yeah, it's like almost like any craft, like anything that you do in life. Like how can I teach him, like let's just say, how can I teach him how to do jewelry if I've never done like if I'm not a good jeweler myself? Like that's just not like, it doesn't work that way. So being selfish in the right way is really to really train yourself and really work on loving yourself first. That way you have some love to offer. In this case, like if I want to teach him how to do like let's just say hypothetically jewelry, then I have to attain that knowledge of knowing how to do jewelry first. You know, I have to know, that way I can offer him some value when I try to teach him how to do jewelry, instead of me just trying to, you know, pretend or guess how to teach him how to do jewelry. In this case, like I can't just pretend to show love and affection for him if I just don't have any to offer. Now I can't even give it to myself. Like how can I give it to somebody else? So I don't know, what do you think about this?
Give me the word. Love the
being selfish.
Being selfish.
Yeah. How do you see this?
I've seen a lot of people selfish growing up. My dad was a little bit selfish. Selfish means, today I try to not be that person, because I've watched my dad, how he was, and what happened to him. I didn't see his life, the beginning of his life, because I wasn't there. So selfish is, I mean, he was able to take care of us amazingly, like raise us amazingly, like he brought us to this country. He was such an amazing guy. But he could have went so much further if he wasn't selfish. If he didn't, not necessarily look after other people, but like also create space where other people can come and thrive in there also. With your knowledge, with like you don't have to be selfish. You can share your space. You can share your knowledge with those who believe in you, believe in the process, believe in the system, believe in the target, believe in like let's go together. Humans are amazing machines. We have brains, and our brains can get developed, and then we like to work with packs. And then we can create a pack of our own, and then the pack is stronger than individual.
Yes.
Selfish being you're by yourself. You're trying to do what the other pack is doing. You're in your wildest dreams. Gonna happen. You know, it might happen in 1 in 10 million. But if you want to take the chance, good luck. Go ahead, do it. I'm not gonna take that chance. I'm gonna give better chance to myself to creating my own pack, and then my pack is the pack. It's like we're gonna go and do some amazing things. You know, like I believe it. I'm gonna
like that.
You know, if I'm the leader, I'm the leader. If we're all gonna go play, we're gonna go play. You know, like we're gonna make this thing work. You know, I have an analogy of soccer. A lot of our employees are Hispanic. They understand soccer. They believe soccer, and that's how I explain to them. Dude, if I gave you the pass, you shoot that goal, that ball to the goal. Like I don't care how you shoot it. It's not perfect, you know. It's rainy. It's wet. It's muddy. Dude, I don't care. Like use your shoulder. Like you know, like use your head. Something push this thing to the goal. Like. That's what the pack is for. That's what the pack is doing. You know, like you selfish. Being selfish is like one man team, one man show. Like you're gonna play against this team, play soccer, and then you're gonna win. Like how's that gonna work? You can probably play with against some kids, but not against professionals. You know, if you're going against professionals, you better develop your team. You better develop your ideas and designs and put your time in and love yourself, like to do this, to like create this love environment, love space where everyone is like buzzing and generating with, you know, with like feeling so good, like so like positive and going after this target, you know, like let's make this happen. Also, we understand that if this doesn't work, we're not going to sit and cry, like we're going to go again. You know, we will rise like a phoenix again, like we just go again, like. But I refuse to be like what my dad did when I watched him. You know, I don't want to be selfish. I want to share my knowledge. Also, create a hub environment where everyone could come and just like. I help you guys with what I do, how I see this, and you know, and then you guys can go and create this for your families, for your environment, for your neighborhoods, and like become a leader, become present, like don't be selfish. Selfish is not gonna do it. I mean, actors we see them as one person acting, but reality they have so many people helping them out, you know, like if you go to a movie set, there's like 150 people trying to like dress him and bring the cameras, and like everybody's doing their part, and people are trying to pay him, and like how much.
Totally.
You can't be selfish, like.
You can't.
I mean, you can try, but let us know if it works out for you. I would like to hear it. I would like to know.
Yes.
But this is how I do it. I hope you guys heard a few of my cents and 2 cents.
But I feel like it's still like a bit like necessary, as far as like putting yourself in that headspace and that focus, that 100% focus, like we spoke in the previous podcast, to be 100% focused and like kind of ignore everything that's around you for a minute, just so that you're able to, you know, really dive deep into your self-love and really train it and practice it, so that you're able to hone it really strongly, you know. In those times, I feel like you do have to look after your own your own self-love, but for it, because I do it this way. Like I really practice, I practice self-love every single day, but I do it because I know that this love is going to go out eventually. It's not just going to stay with me. So
it's transitory.
Yes, exactly. So I know that I'm going to take in knowledge, and sure, like I'm being on my own at that point. You know, I'm taking in information, I'm taking in love, but I know it's gonna go somewhere. You know, outside of me. It's not just gonna stay with me.
It's like we talked about energy. Love is energy. Like your energy level is rising and rising and rising. There's you know, you can release some. You can give it away.
And as the next topic says, you know, we're talking about like extending your love. You know, that self-love doesn't just stay with you. You know, eventually you want to extend it. You want to put it out there. You know, for your closest people, and show them that you're there for them and stuff.
Right.
So like
self-love is very important. Also, sharing is important. Sharing is in caring. You know, like you share your knowledge, you share your love, and don't expect that it's going to come back to you immediately right away. But like when you do share it, you know, you share it in a way that you're planting, like earlier how I said, like you plant it, and then you keep on planting it like a farmer planting its fields. You know, by trusting that somehow the weather's gonna change, it's gonna come, rain's gonna come, and that little seed's gonna start growing, and then the spring gonna come, somehow you're gonna have tomatoes or whatever you planted. Just be careful, don't plant wild bushes, because you know the nature doesn't understand this part. You know, it will give you wild bushes if you don't plant tomatoes and cucumbers. You know, plant good stuff. You will receive back all this good stuff. So, you know, that's how it is. You just do it, but you do it with a faith, because Lot of those seeds, maybe the bird's gonna come and eat it.
Yes.
And you know, like, you don't know who those birds are, and you're not gonna get anything over there. You're gonna be like, what happened? I know I put a seed here, but the birds came and ate it. It's gone. You know, it's not there anymore any longer. But it's okay. Not because the bird's gonna eat it, that doesn't mean that you're not gonna continue putting the seeds on the ground.
Yeah.
And watering it and hoping that it's gonna give back to you one day. You know.
Yeah.
So you just do it and do it from self-love. And believe that this is gonna work. This is how it works. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can finish it off with. I think this was one of your points. There's no guarantees.
There's no guarantees. No guarantees. What do you think? Like, there's no guarantees, bro. Just like you just do it with faith.
Yes.
You know, with belief that those seeds gonna what is the word when they
Blossom.
Blossom? Like, is it blossom?
They're gonna grow, or
They're gonna grow. Like, it's gonna work. You know,
Yes.
soil and a seed and water.
Yes.
You don't know. Like, but you know, that's love. You're putting out there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any like. There is no like, promised reward for you putting love out there. I mean,
Yeah.
you either you do
All right.
risk getting hurt, and you risk, having a great community of people that love you.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna say again, thank you, Luis, for this beautiful Develop Your Mindset podcast. This is amazing. It's so awesome. So thank you guys watching. And today we were talking about Love Yourself Medallion that we made for our line, and that's dear to us and very important to us. And we thought we would share our thoughts about behind this medallion, why it represents and why we made it. And don't forget to go out there and then love yourselves. Teach yourselves to love yourself. It's such an important thing for all of us, and I hope you'll achieve that. And it's beautiful and great for you guys. And thank you so much for watching. And please don't forget to do likes and leave comments. We would love to hear your comments and what you think about this. We can continue talking online about this. And the pendant, the medallion itself, it resides in our website. If you guys go to kbrothersjewelers.com, it's over there. We have silver and gold for you to purchase if you like. And thank you so much again. And if you have anything to say about social media, since you run the social media and the website.
Yeah, I mean, well, thank you again for having me here, the Develop Your Mindset podcast. It's always fun to share these ideas with you guys, and hopefully, like, we're helping you guys develop your mindset, because that's ultimately our goal with this podcast.
Yes.
And as far as like social media, yes, I mean, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can find all of our Develop Your Mindset. All the episodes are on YouTube. And you can also follow us on Instagram, K Brothers Inspirations. We have, if you don't have the time to watch the full podcast, I do try to extract some of the most valuable content out of the podcast, and make it into smaller videos so that you guys can consume that faster on Instagram. And
Awesome.
Follow us there and like support, share the videos if you like, and.
Yep. If you guys have anyone like to watch this kind of content, please do share. Families, friends, let them know about it, and subscribe. We appreciate. We want our followers to number to go up. That would mean grateful. We'll be grateful for you guys. That would mean a lot. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Develop your mindset.